June 6, 1944, D-Day, isn't just a date on the calendar. It's the day over 150,000 Allied troops crossed the English Channel and landed on the beaches of Normandy, France, in the largest amphibious invasion in military history. It was the beginning of the end of Nazi occupation in Western Europe, a bold gamble to liberate a continent, and the single most important day of World War II. But behind the success was unimaginable planning, deception, courage, and loss. The roots of D-Day go back to 1943, when Allied leaders, primarily Franklin D. Roosevelt, Winston Churchill, and Joseph Stalin, agreed that the only way to defeat Hitler was to open up a Western front. Nazi Germany had spent years fortifying its grip on Europe. France had fallen, London had endured the Blitz, and the Soviet Union, suffering immense losses, was pleading for relief in the West. That's when Operation Overlord was born, a plan to take back Europe, one beach at a time. Under the supreme command of General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Allies began gathering troops, supplies, and ships across southern England. But sheer force wasn't enough. They needed secrecy, so they launched Operation Bodyguard, a massive deception campaign. Inflatable tanks, fake radio chatter, and double agents convinced Hitler that the invasion would strike Calais, not Normandy. Meanwhile, weather delays and timing challenges made the final decision even riskier. On the night of June 5th, Eisenhower gave the go-ahead. Okay, let's go. The early hours of June 6 started in the air. More than 13,000 paratroopers from the U.S. 82nd and 101st Airborne and Britain's 6th Airborne were dropped behind enemy lines. Their mission: disrupt German defenses, secure bridges, and sow chaos. Many landed far off target, some into swamps or behind enemy patrols. But they fought bravely to link up with ground forces that would arrive hours later. At dawn, the main invasion began. 5 beaches, Utah and Omaha for the Americans, Gold and Sword for the British, and Juno for the Canadians. Allied warships shelled the coast, softening German defenses, while landing craft braved rough seas to get troops to shore. Utah went surprisingly well, thanks to a wrong landing spot that worked in the Americans' favor. But Omaha was a nightmare. The Germans were dug in, the beach was narrow, and American forces were met with a storm of machine gun fire, artillery, and mines. Soldiers drowned, choked in smoke, or were gunned down before they even reached the sand. It was pure chaos, but they didn't give up. Small pockets of troops found cover, flanked bunkers, and pushed forward. Slowly, through smoke, sand, and sacrifice, they broke through. By the end of the day, despite heavy losses, over 4,000 Allied soldiers killed and thousands more wounded, the beachheads were secured. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't clean. But it was a foothold in Europe, and it would grow stronger with each passing day. The success of D-Day came not just from numbers, but from the courage of ordinary men who did extraordinary things. Soldiers, many just 18 or 19 years old, faced steel and fire with nothing but grit. Medics pulled wounded comrades from the surf. Engineers cleared mines under direct fire. Pilots flew into flak storms to drop paratroopers. These were not superheroes. They were people, fathers, sons, brothers, and their bravery saved the world from tyranny. After the beaches were taken, the Allies began pushing inland. Within a month, over 1 million Allied troops had landed in France. Town by town, village by village, they fought their way across Normandy. The liberation of Paris followed in August. By spring of 1945, Hitler was dead, and Nazi Germany surrendered. But D-Day was the catalyst, the bold, bloody, brilliant beginning of the end. It showed the world what could happen when free nations united against oppression. It proved that even the strongest fortress could fall under the weight of courage and coordination, and it gave birth to generations of freedom that followed. Today, the beaches of Normandy are quiet, the guns are gone, but the legacy remains. Rows of white crosses mark the graves of those who never came home. Museums, memorials, and weathered bunkers remind us of what was risked and what was won. D-Day is not just history, it's a promise that freedom has a cost, that liberty is worth fighting for, and that on June 6, 1944, the world changed because brave men were willing to run toward fire so others could live free.